Hi, my name is Bill. This is one of the last few videos I'm going to make on this particular group of videos. The 10th one, if my initial diagram and structure holds true, but in reality it's like 15 videos now. But this one is more on the topic of awareness. I've mentioned a lot of things in these videos. I mentioned something about a foundation. I mentioned, a foundation involving your core knowledge, what you hold deep and true, what is unshakable, what you fall back on when the world just crashes down around you. I've spoke of information, what it is, in essence, filtering all the things your eyes and ears take in to process it and, not take it for true or false, fact or fiction, but just to take it for what it is, information. Some things you can confirm are most likely true, other things you have no experience on, so you have to just keep it as information. You don't have to file it away as true right off the bat. It's just information. What I'm telling you is just information. You then think about it to determine if it's true or not for you. The other topic was knowledge, and knowledge is something we get from our experiences. We analyze those experiences, or better yet, if an experience is what we perceive, observe, hear, how we analyze that information, and then how we store it in our mind. And of course, memory is a product of that, and it's questionable. There's a level of certainty and doubt with all of it, and it's important to know that with any degree of doubt, there is a chance to be wrong. The next thing I talked about was comprehension and doubt. I mentioned already the doubt and certainty idea, but comprehension, many degrees of comprehension, and we have to be constantly aware that, what we learn and what we understand now changes over time. The other thing was differences. We're all different in every way, mentally, spiritually, physically. We're all different. No two people are alike. Even identical twins have differences. We're more different than we are similar. Not to say we should treat each other negatively or separate ourselves from each other, but we should remember that for all our similarities, we have more differences. And we should expect people to be not like us, but different from us. Go into a situation with others to learn from them. The other topic I talked about is expectations, different degrees of expectations, and ultimately developing a wait-and-see attitude when dealing with reality, like I've encountered many people that have, and I like to believe I have, though I think I fail sometimes on it. And last time I mentioned human fallacy, being imperfect. Talked about self-deception and how that can lead us astray and make us believe things and do things that maybe later we feel bad about or we feel guilty about. Awareness of all of this is, let me put it in this terms. I've learned these things through the course of 20 years. And at different points in my life, I've applied certain aspects of them and forgotten other aspects of them. My awareness of all of this was limited. I never really was I only used it as a tool in a toolbox. I pulled it out when I needed it. But that was not the best way, because life is not going to give you a chance to pause. It's not a video game. You have to be aware of all of this at the same time as you live your life. My awareness of all of these ideas and concepts have not congealed into a single entity until the last 5 years. now they're on my mind. Aspects of what my foundation is, and should I question it? Aspects of the information I receive and what I allocate as knowledge. My expectations about the world around me and how I'm dealing with it. The notion of self-doubt and human fallacy and imperfection. All of these things, in and of their own right, are useful. But if you forget one of them in any given situation, don't remember all of this when applying your decision-making ability, when applying your actions or inactions, can make you do the wrong thing, can cause you to make decisions that are wrong and bad and have dire consequences, and can also, in essence, make your life more complicated, more unbearable. You might hypothetically lose something important to you. You might not get that promotion. Your children might not want to be around you. You might lose money on the stock market, God forbid. All of these lessons, the awareness of all of these lessons and applying it each and every day, each and every moment, that was hard for me. I knew these things. If you asked me about them, I could talk about it up until I was 35 anyway, or 35 and past. But I could not, when I was living my life, I forgot them. I did not apply them. They were not congealed into one greater conceptual idea. So the awareness of getting all of this together and the awareness of getting everything you know to be true or false is, I found to be very important. It's so easy to learn a lesson and then file it away for later time. But I think it's more important to take that lesson and push it into all the other lessons you learned in your life. Whatever lessons they may be. Be aware of what you've learned. Be aware of what of your experiences. Be aware of your knowledge. And always have it there, ready and handy when you need it. Because life will throw you curveballs. No matter how prepared you think you are, life will give you something you're not prepared for. And for me, when that happens, I use it as an opportunity to see what I'm missing. What part of the lessons in my life that I learned are lacking? Is there something I need to add? Is there something I need to take away? Something I need to change? And this may all seem silly to you if you listen to any of the other ones, but for me, taking all of these lessons together and applying them to every activity and every lesson and every situation, with my every decision and every action that I take, has helped me interact with people and the world so much better. So much so that I'm currently I drive for Uber and Lyft, and as a result, I try to use what I've learned to help people in little ways, plant little seeds to give them a little hope for the future if they're young, or give them a little thought that might help them overcome their problems with men or women or their relationships, or whatever I can do to help. So my awareness of all of these lessons that I've learned and how I like to think I keep them handy and ready to use at a moment's notice, instead of storing them away, they're there. It's kind of like a carpenter having his tools in a toolbox, pulling them out when he needs it, versus a carpenter with his belt having all his tools around him at all the time, using it every day, using it by just pulling it. Doesn't have to pull it out the toolbox, he has it already. And that's what awareness is to me. I'm aware of all these lessons and I'm aware of what I've learned, and I like very much to think that I have them all on my tool belt, ready to use when I need them. And I need them all the time. They all apply to everything I do. I'm always taking information in. I'm always processing knowledge. I'm always encountering this idea that anything could happen, and and take it as it comes attitude. I am aware of my differences. I'm aware of my fallacies. I'm aware of the self-deception that occasionally creeps in. All of this plays a part in everything that I do. And that was a big lesson for me, incorporating all of that into one idea, into one philosophy. And maybe you will consider, if not the lessons I've learned, but whatever lessons you learned, and you could put them all together yourself, write them down, and then remember, process them and be aware of them at all times. Have your tool belt, have your tools on you at all times. Don't just store them in a toolbox in your shed. Always have them on you when you need them, because you will always need them for everything you do. And with that, I want to thank you for listening to this foolish man talk about his foolish experiences. And if it has helped somebody, I'm glad. If not, then, as I said, I'm a fool and it's probably all wrong.